It's the North Shore Drive podcast. I'm Adam Bittner, assistant sports editor for multimedia at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, joined by Jason Mackey, our Post-Gazette sports writer. Second segment here, talking about the Steelers joint practice with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down at Acrisure Stadium. Jason, you were there observing things. There are things you can tell us. There are things you cannot because of the rules that they place around these things, but excited to parse through that with you here in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, I don't love it, Adam. It like offends the baseball writer in me or something. I don't know. I mean, I understand and respect why the Steelers put the restrictions on it that they do, but I mean, you're having an event at Acrisure Stadium where it is the practice. It is a joint practice. It is a de facto game. I understand there aren't fans in the stands, but start your regular season practice media schedule during the regular season. When the event is the practice, it is a preseason practice that, in my opinion, is probably going to take the place of a preseason game. Just let us report on it, please. It's making it unnecessarily difficult. And then you had Rick Stroud from the Tampa Bay Times, so violating it, whether he knew it or not, the practice policy. I also understand, visiting writers who are covering this team fly here because this is a notable event with their team, and then they're told upon arrival, hey, by the way, you can't practice, you can't report what you see. It's unwieldy. It's trying to do too much. But anyway, let's talk about some football as much as we can.
Yeah, we're going to dig into that, how the defense seems to have underperformed some expectations for people. Before we get into that, just want to thank a sponsor. It's Savinas, Kane, and Gallucci, Pittsburgh's mesothelioma and asbestos attorneys. They've been standing up for victims of mesothelioma and asbestos cancers for over 85 years. They know how to uncover the truth. They have the experience you need, the commitment your family deserves. They've recovered millions for individuals affected by mesothelioma and other cancers due to asbestos exposure. Call them toll-free at 1-877-227-6558 or visit them online at sdklaw.com. Jason, the one thing we can say that has been reported is that Baker Mayfield was scheduled to play in the preseason game on Saturday. Reportedly now, I think according to the Tampa Bay Times, he will not play, purportedly because things went pretty well against the Steelers' first-team defense at Acrisure Stadium. So was the Steelers' defense humbled? I think I can ask that question a little bit without getting into super minute details. Were they humbled a little bit relative to this preseason conversation we've been having with Mike Tomlin saying he thinks this unit can be, quote, historic? I think we've had some other guys on the defense talk in similar terms.
Yeah.
Did they look historic?
Come on, man. All right. So they didn't look historic, and even if they looked really good, it wouldn't be historic. It's a preseason joint practice. But I want to talk honestly about the defense. I want to talk about the defense's talking. And also, yeah, I think that's a fair thing. They're humble. They didn't have the best performance. They've had some stuff they need to clean up. Okay, so what? I would imagine the best defenses in the world on August 15th have noticed some things that they'd like to improve. I'm also not saying that this defense is the best defense in the world, but people reacting a certain way to this defense feeling confident, what do you want them to say? Do you want them to say, oh, I hope we're pretty good. I think we might, we're terrible, but if we can just be not that bad, I think that'll be. Of course you want these guys being confident. I do. You want them to have some swagger. And I think at least that's what I've detected. Juan Thornhill likes to talk a lot of trash. Good. Let him talk. Deshaun Elliott likes to talk a lot of trash. Good. Let him talk. They're writing checks that they're going to have to cash. Yeah. By week 9, if they stink, are they going to look stupid? Of course. But right now, I want a defense that is confident. Mike Tomlin's going along with it and backing his players. Have they made a lot of moves that I think are going to improve the secondary? Yes, I do. Functionally, Jalen Ramsey has been a good player. Does it make sense to have an above-average slot corner in today's NFL? Yes, it does. Do they need to be better against coverage? Yes. Can the pass rush improve? Did they make meaningful moves to be better against the running game? Yes. And they're talking about this, and then people on the other side are reacting to it almost like they shouldn't be happy that they made moves and they made improvements. And at the same time, they feel confident in what they're doing. What's the big deal? It's like today's society. You can't say anything without somebody getting offended or somebody feeling like they have to react to it. I want people who are a part of things. Like with the Post-Gazette, Adam, we should be positive about what we're doing. We should be proud about what we're doing. We should think that what we're doing is really cool, and we do. It's just nobody is in the business of reacting to what we think about things. We're reacting to what they think about things, if that makes sense. Rant over.
No, I hear you. I think it's like, yeah, we feel really good. I think you can say we feel really good when you put like a term like historic is the word. That's like, okay. That's when I start to say, okay.
You're holding each other accountable and challenging each other by doing that because you have to live up to it. Is that a crime? No.
No, I don't think it's a crime, but I do think it is setting yourself up for, a lot of criticism down the line if you don't quite live up to that. If they want that at the end, and or if they think that they can live up to it, then great. But I think that's the qualm some people have with it is there's a line between confident and overconfident. Or have they trended into that territory? I wanted to ask specifically about Jalen Ramsey. Have we just maybe overstated how quickly it's going to be perfect with him? Like I still buy into the theory that he can be a chess piece that they can move around the defense, can be very useful, can be more useful perhaps to this defense than Minkah Fitzpatrick was, even though they're both very good players. But I also don't think it's going to be seamless, and maybe that's some of what we saw, because I can also say we have a picture of Mike Evans catching a touchdown against Jalen Ramsey on postgazette.com. So is there a level of patience people are going to have to demonstrate here of it could be really good, but this is going to be a building process and not something that is, a finished product on day one?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Adam. And I think it's a good bit of remembering or a reason to remember and think a little bit differently about this because of how much they've talked and how boastful they've been and, whatever. It's going to take time. It's a good reminder of that. It's a good reminder that other teams have players who get paid too. Mike Evans is a good receiver. Emeka Egbuka, I believe he's the one who confirmed that. He's going to be a very good player in this league. Is it going to be perfect? No. And it's going to take some time. Yes. I think it's interesting how they deploy Ramsey because I don't think they should just be deploying him in the slot all the time and becoming predictable with it. I think it's going to take some time to find how to be properly deceptive. I think it's going to take some time to, I'd frankly like to see them blitz more. Use Ramsey to blitz. Use Ramsey to disguise blitzes. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of tinkering that's going to be required with this. And I wouldn't expect them to have it figured out right away. I think all of our expectations are that they're for the water to find its level right away. But yeah, some of the struggles yesterday, I think, are a fair reason to maybe step back and say this is going to be a bit of a process. And maybe, you know what, Adam, I'm sitting here railing against, them like they should be allowed to talk pridefully and boastfully about what they're doing. Maybe this is a good reminder to shut up a little bit on that front too. Maybe let's just cool it and let's let the process play out because it's going to be required. Other teams are very good and you need to take a little bit of time to thread the needledly appropriate way. So yeah, good reminder for everybody.
Brandin Echols, in an interview with our Brian Bacco that's on this YouTube channel, said that there was communication stuff that they needed to clean up. I think that's a flashing warning sign for a lot of people, given the way last season ended and how communication
people get triggered by that word, man.
Right. It played into a lot of the struggles. Do you see what Brandin Echols was talking about yesterday as a continuation of what was happening at the end of last season, or more what we're talking about of trying to get these new guys integrated, involved, and moving in the right direction?
Yeah, no, I don't see it as a continuation of last season. I mean, I think, number one, the idea of communication was brought about more by the linebackers, and I think it was communicating among levels. I think you're always going to have communication necessary between corners and safeties and defensive backs as a whole. I'm not blaming it all on Minkah Fitzpatrick, but I think we've seen enough quotes since he was traded that was at least one part of it. And maybe Minkah was at fault, maybe he wasn't, but I certainly ascribe a lot of their communication issues in the past year to Minkah. That being said, you've got new guys all around. Thornhill, Eckles, Ramsey, Slay. Yeah, you're going to have communication issues. I'm not sure that's a bad thing. I'd rather have communication issues in the joint practice in preseason game number 2 than I would week 4 or whatever. So, yeah, they're different to me. Obviously important. And if you're talking about communication issues, consistently throughout the regular season, it's an issue, but I don't have a problem with it right now.
Jason, I think the Cam Heyward contract situation has been beaten to death a little bit in terms of him asking for more money and stuff. So I'm not going to delve too far into that, but I did want to ask the question of how much you believe in the depth behind him if he does miss games because of this dispute. We've heard really good things about Yahya Black.
I've
heard really good things about Derrick Harmon. Well, I'm just saying, if it does happen, how do you feel about the depth they have at that position behind him?
Yeah, a little concerned, honestly. If we're going to live in fantasy land, and I'm not saying that directed at you, Adam, I just think, there is the narrative out there and people worry about it. I don't agree with that. I think this thing ends with Cam getting a little bit more money and the Steelers taking care of it and making it go away. And in a month, we're laughing about this, but I understand why people talk about it now. I've been talking and writing about it, but yeah, I worry a little bit about the depth. I haven't seen a ton from Isaiah Loudermilk. I mean, maybe he can give you something. Marvin Leal has been largely disappointing. If Cam is out, you're probably going to be playing Yahya Black a lot more. You're pushing Derrick Harmon and Keeanu Benton to the outside. Beyond that, am I going to be overly excited about seeing a bunch of Dean Lowry? Probably not. They've got some guys, but if Cam Heyward misses games, yeah, that's significant. I also don't think Cam Heyward's going to miss games. I think the conversation around the defensive line would be much bigger if he does. And I'd be frankly really disappointed in Cam as a leader and a person if he let this get in the way of him playing in a very important season. I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, I would be concerned, but I have been encouraged by Yahya Black and Derrick Harmon. I just don't think the collective depth is there with the defensive line.
Well, Jason, great discussion. Appreciate you hopping on with me today talking about the joint practice. We'll look forward to covering the preseason game on Saturday. Certainly we'll have some content off of that. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel for everything, all of the fallout from the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Help us out in the YouTube algorithm. We always appreciate that. And we will talk to you again next time.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.